Hey there. As a husband, father, and entrepreneur, I've learned that leadership isn't just about vision or skill. It's about character. Our families, our churches, our companies, they need more than competent leaders. They need truly brilliant ones. A recent Forbes article by Jason Walker unpacks what gives certain leaders that edge. And today I want to share with you those traits and how we can grow them in ourselves. First thing that he talks about is humility. A brilliant leader doesn't demand the spotlight. They admit mistakes. They invite feedback. They serve others. That's strength, not weakness. It builds trust. It builds loyalty. As the scripture says, he must increase and I must decrease. Second thing we look at is curiosity. We don't think about that a lot when it comes to leadership, but great leaders keep asking questions. They're not satisfied with, we've always done it this way. They learn from others, even young folks with less experience, but with great ideas, fresh ideas. Curiosity keeps them fresh, keeps leaders fresh. Responsive to a changing world. We all have to be responsive. The world is changing on a daily basis, on an hourly basis. The third one, which I find to be incredibly important, is emotional intelligence. Brilliant leaders connect. They understand their own emotions. They recognize the feelings of others, and they respond with wisdom. At home, that means noticing when your spouse is discouraged or when your child is overwhelmed. At work, it's seeing when a team member is burning out. Emotional lets you lead people, not just task. Successful leaders empower and have successful people around them. The fourth thing mentioned is adaptability. As I mentioned, the world is changing fast. Markets shift, technology evolves, AI, crisis hits. Especially in this political climate, you never know what's going to happen from hour to hour. But brilliant leaders don't panic. They adjust. They move forward with imperfect information. They treat failure as a setback. Fourth, adaptability. The world is changing fast. Markets shift. Technology evolves. Crisis hits. Everyone's talking about AI and what it's going to do to the marketplace and to jobs and what we do is from a career standpoint. But brilliant leaders, they don't panic. They adjust. They pivot. They move forward with imperfect information. They treat failure as feedback. They look at it. They pivot. They adjust accordingly. Finally, let's talk about strong values. Humility, curiosity, adaptability without a moral center, those can drift. Brilliant leaders, they have to have a North Star, a true north, which encompasses integrity, compassion, justice, and service. They treat people with dignity, and they make decisions consistent with their values and their core principles, not just what's easy at the moment, which is what we tend to want to do, and it tends to be our default. So how do you spot a brilliant leader? They admit when they're wrong. They ask more questions than they give orders. They're open to feedback and commentary. They care more about the team than their own resume. They're constantly learning. They stay calm under pressure, and they stay true to their promises. They're committed. They're loyal. These are characteristics of things we don't see a whole lot in today's society. Friends, leadership isn't about perfection. It's about striving to be humble, to stay curious, to lead with emotional wisdom, to adapt with courage, and to remain anchored in values. When we live that way, we don't just hope for brilliant leadership. We become brilliant leaders ourselves, and we teach others to become brilliant leaders. And that changes everything for our families, our teams, our churches, and our communities. Thank you, folks. God bless you. Until next time.